My name is Julia Okujax, and this is another episode of Unplugged. And guess what we're talking about? Another episode of food, glorious food. Who doesn't like food? I love food. I absolutely love food. I'm sure you do too. Today we're going to talk to two very dynamic ladies. One from my home base right now in Port Harcourt, and another one all the way from Plateau State. And they're producing the consumer side they're in the consumer side of the agricultural value chain, and they're going to tell us their experiences. So what we'll do is to just bring them on. I think we'll try and bring them on Instagram. It's easy to bring them on. Okay, let's just do this. Hi, Nankwat and Sandra.
Hi.
Hi, and I'm going to just add you on Instagram. So okay,
Instagram.
Nankwat, I've invited you. I'm going to invite Keza Foods now. Keza Foods. Okay, you're here. All right. Okay. Yeah, Keza Foods is here with us, and we're expecting Namkat to join us at any time soon. So we're talking food. We started talking about food last week, and we decided that we'll talk about food because it's important to us. Food, I mean, we're looking at a situation where I guess last week was Nimder Nanso, and she said in about 30 years, oil will not be a major part of what we export as a country, you know. So, Nankwat, maybe you could ask me to join, then we'll do that. We'll do it that way. Ask you on. So it's important that we start looking at other non-oil resources, other non-oil ways in which we can boost our economy, and agriculture those things. So this is why we've started this conversation. We talked about it last week as a toe in the water conversation, but it's getting deeper. So from an exploration that we wanted to do, we've seen that it's actually going to be something we're going to do over 2 months because we're going to still go to the different aspects of the supply chain and also different uh, parts of agriculture, you know. So welcome, Damquat. Welcome, Sandra. And
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
it's been a long time since I had two powerful ladies like this. But I'd like to start by a quotation I saw this morning, a chance, from the official handle of our very own beloved Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. And she said, she posted a picture of herself with the 2014 UN winner. This was on Twitter, you know, UN winner Ahmed Sani Naji. And he was holding up an 8 kg plus naturally grown catfish from his farm in Nasarawa State. And from 6 staff, he now employs 3,000 staff, and they're involved in rice, fish, and cotton production. And she ended up by saying Nigeria's most important resource is her dynamic and hardworking youth. I mean, I couldn't have thought of a better gift to share with the world this morning. Hey, Hussein, welcome to everyone. You know, and hi to everybody in on Instagram. Nankwat is still trying to join. I'm sure she will join. So, but at least you'll hear the questions I ask, and you can ask any question you have. So, what do you guys think about that quotation? I mean, somebody in 6 years, 2014, okay, 2014 to now is how many years? Let me do my math a little bit. This 2022, 2014. Mm,
18.
that's 8 years, right? Is it 8 years? Am I right?
Yeah,
Yeah. In 8 years, it's grown from six staff to employing 3,000.
that's
That's
good.
amazing. And it's moved from just naturally grown catfish to rice, fish, and cotton production. What do you guys think about that? Just your general opinions.
I think it's awesome, and it goes further to prove that there's demand and there's need for agriculture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agriculture is actually taking the lead on money generation nowadays in the country. So it's actually a good
Yes.
thing. Mm.
Yes. And also for employment, you know. Yes. So it's very important. So we have. You might wonder what does Nankwat do? Nankwat, am I pronouncing your name properly?
Yes, it's okay.
No, no, no. Tell me how I should say it. I want to say it properly.
Nankwat, it's
Nankwat.
actually a tribal name, so you can't pronounce it the way we actually do, but you're doing perfectly well. It's okay. Yeah,
Nankwat. Nankwat.
yeah.
Okay. Nankwat is a microbiologist and a baker. Mm? And you might wonder, what does a microbiologist have to do with this? A lot. She was so passionate about baking that she started Case Bites, and that's a business. She started Case Bites and more when she was in university, and she's been developing her skills and growing her scope of business since then. Now, very interestingly, so many things happened to a lot of us during the lockdown. And Nankwa, tell us what happened to you during the lockdown regarding your business. Because you
Well,
added another business, didn't you?
yes. At that time, I think no, there was no movement. Everybody was at home, and then I and my sister like ventured into weight loss therapy. You can imagine. So, in our research, we got to understand some of the foods that you can go on eating. Like you can go on eating every almost every day, and then Greek yogurt was one of them. And of course, I sometimes like trying things for myself, unless I don't have the resources to be able to put it up. So instead of buying it, if I don't get it right, then I think of buying it outside. That was how it's in one of the food. I thought of yogurt, and that was how it started. Quick yogurt, because you can take it for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or just have a smoothie with fruits in it of different fruits of your own choice. And that was how it started. Eventually, I got few people that were requesting for it, and that was how the business kicked in. Like, since I'm already into baking, why not have this as another product that I can sell? And then I could still make parfait for parfait cups or bowl for people to actually buy too. So it wasn't like I sat down and thought of, okay, what will I add to my list of products that I was already selling. So that was how it started gradually, and we are here now. Mm.
So it came from a personal need,
Yes,
and
actually.
then, but then you already established yourself in a different field, in food, in baking.
Yeah,
So
I was
people
already,
knew you. Yeah.
yes. Mm.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So Sandra, tell us your story. I mean, you guys couldn't have come from two different backgrounds. She's a microbiologist, and you're an IT graduate of the Institute of Technology in Accra. You know, and you started by making handcrafted baby wear, and then you moved to making women's fashion accessories from recycle plastic bags. And here you are with food. Sandra, just share your story, please.
Okay, at first,
How did you get to food? No, sorry, I just asked how did you get to food? I can't hear you.
can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can.
Okay, okay. How I got to food? At the period, I think somewhere around January 2020. Yeah. So I wasn't generating enough revenue for from the craft. It wasn't getting that much attention. It wasn't generating so much at the time, and I also saw a need. At the time um I stumbled into a place where they bring in foods from the north directly from like a wholesale package, and I thought to myself, I said, wow, we could actually create something from here. And at the time also they were need you go to the market, and today the price is this, tomorrow the price is that. It's not regulated at all. So I thought maybe, okay, if I could get to do something directly with the producers, the farmers, work with them directly, I think it will be a better place, and people will be able to get food cheaper, and also be able to do the distribution for them with ease. They get it cheaper and they get it easy. So, and that's how I started doing advertisement, and that's how I started with food.
Okay. Hi, JJC fam, welcome. I don't know if you have a question here. Okay, now I'm quite you. Okay, I've accepted you, so I'm sure you're coming on. So, hi, Imabasi, welcome, 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 welcome. So we're talking about food, glorious food. Yes, you're here. Great to see you on IG. Yes. Okay. So Ima is a foodie. So is Jerry, and it seems the people who've joined so far, and I'm sure they will have a lot of interesting questions to ask you. But let's go back to yogurt making, especially Greek yogurt. I understand that Greek yogurt is a probiotic, which makes it good for gut health. Now, what that means to the general public, I have no idea. But you could tell us what's why is it good for us to eat probiotics?
Probiotics is actually live bacteria. You know, as a microbiologist, there are some organisms that are still helpful in your body, in the sense that not all of them are harmful in the way we always have to treat one sickness or infection or the other. There are some that your body needs for one thing or the other, that if it's not there, it's a problem. So these are just it's Greek yogurt contains that life bacteria that are good for your guts, especially for digestive system. So it helps in your digestive system. Even if it's heartburn you're having, you take it and it's good for you. It can calm it down for you. So that's why it is good for you to take. It's one of those good bacteria. We call them good bacteria.
Good
So
bacteria.
yes.
It's, it sounds almost like a contradiction, bacteria and good. But I heard that too. I heard about probiotics, and I do love. Now, what's the difference between the sweetened and unsweetened? Is there any
Sweetening.
benefit?
It depends on what you're using as a sweetener. If you don't want it sweetened, as far as it's not sour for you, if you can take it like that, it's okay. But if you want it sweetened, you could actually use a sweetener of your choice, depending on your health preference. Where some people can use sugar, or you use honey, or there's this sweetex that actually is it sugar from sugarcane sauce like that that is good for diabetic people also. So that one is another option. That is the difference between having a sweetened and unsweetened yogurt. So depends on your own choice.
Okay. Well, if so,
Yes.
if I'm diabetic or pre-diabetic, I could go for the sweetened, and it won't really
You can go for
bother
the
me too
sweetening.
much.
That's why I said depending on your choice of sweetener that you're
Oh,
using.
okay.
Yes. So
Okay.
I
Okay.
usually don't ask like if you want it sweetened, what do you want it sweetened with? And there are some people that want it sweetened with the sugar, they don't mind. But then you have diabetic people that will not want sugar. So you have the other option. Honey is a good option too for them.
I've heard about date syrup. What do you think about that?
Baked syrup.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't get you very well. Baked syrup.
Yeah, dates. Using dates and
Oh,
making
wait,
it.
yeah. That's
Yes.
another good option too. I've not I've not been able to look into that very well, but it's a good option. Dates is very good. It's a good sweetener. So even a diabetic patient can a person can use that one as a sweetener too, because it's not harmful. It's a good sweetener for anything you're going to add up to.
Okay. We have a question
Yes.
here from Geraldine, and she's wondering, where can you get sugarcane sweetener? Is it something
Is
that is? Do you know? Can you get it on sale?
no, I some of this sweetex. I don't know if you've seen sweetex. It's like
Synthetic.
sachets. Yes, some of their sauces is actually from plant based or sugarcane
Okay.
sauce. That's why I said, but it's not like you know how to get it directly like that. So it depends on how they are being processed. That's why it is better of taking those ones than the granulated sugar, the usual sugar we are having around.
Okay. So the advice would be, look at the packet, look at the back of the pack,
Yes,
and see.
yes. Mm.
Okay. Okay. Now let's come to Keza Foods, to Sandra. Sandra, you kind of moved on from distributing food, which you still kind of do, but you've expanded it to your banga juice.
Yeah.
Uh, why did you do that?
Mm, Again, I'm a person who likes personally. I like to help. I like to make things easy for people. So, in the course of doing that, I'm from Delta State, and our traditional food is banga soup. So, anytime I personally want to make that soup, I have to go through the stress of pounding. So, I thought of making them, freezing it, so anytime it's easy for me to use. And then I thought, okay, if I can do this for myself, I think others too will be interested in it, and that's how I came up with banga.
Okay. So tell us about
Yes.
how has the journey been with the banga? How you rolling the two? Because I know you and I have spoken before, so I know that you have a bigger dream for Keza Foods, which I'll ask you to share. But how are you rolling with these two lines of business?
Oh, fine, fine.
The food distribution and then the banga juice.
Yes, we're rolling it little by little. So I think we're going side by side. Though recently I slowed down with the distribution to focus on the banga to be able to market it, because I realize if I'm not marketing it as I used to or as much as I can, people will not get to know the product, and then I will not be able to sell the product. So my focus recently has been on how to market the product, and also help, because of have recently we also had distributors in Lagos, and so to improve or to create awareness for the product too in Lagos, to help them market it. So I have to to focus on the banga a little more for now.
Okay. I'm going to ask you about this brand awareness, both of you, but I'll ask you in the second segment of the program. I'll be taking questions as we go along. And we have a question from SCNI, that's from Nankwat.
Okay.
Um, Nankwat, he's asking about palm sugar. I tried palm sugar once. I almost died. No, not in a bad way. It just doesn't taste nice. It doesn't taste nice to me. I've tried agave, and that's agave was nice. So he's asking you, I believe, and that is in your capacity as somebody in this line of business, microbiologist. So are those healthier sweetening options for diabetic and pre-diabetic people?
I've not heard of palm sugar before, actually. Why? Yeah.
Lankas, are you with us?
Yes.
Okay, you said you haven't heard of palm sugar. It's in the supermarkets. That's where I
Oh,
picked it up from. And yeah, I picked it up from the supermarkets. And then how about agave? I've used agave before.
okay.
It's from
I've actually read
cactus.
about it, but I've not used that before. I've not used that before too. I've not been able to get hold of it too. So I can't say much about it.
Okay. So I don't know. Would it be pushing you if you were to say maybe you look at other options like would it be pushing you to widen your options? That's part of what we try to do, share knowledge on this show and see
Mm,
how small brands, micro brands can get to small brands and get to medium-sized brands, you know, so that you do have a unique advantage over other people who are probably just using sugar, and
mm.
things like that. But I don't know. Well, you're in Plateau State. I've been to Plateau State. I think once. I think once. I'm not quite sure. I think once, maybe twice. And one thing I noticed was that there is a proliferation of cacti in Plateau State. Am I correct? We weren't in Jos, but we were on the outskirts. We were traveling through the outskirts, and I just
Okay.
saw. I love cactus plants for sure. So I just
Mm.
kept thinking, oh my goodness, I'd love to take this home and plant. You know, so that's a natural resource that can be explored. Is that something you'd be interested in, or maybe to collaborate with other people to expand what you do? Is that something you're interested in? Are you happy where you are?
Is you can never be okay in your comfort zone. It's always good to explore other options of things. So it will be a nice experience to try and check it out. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So we'll be following back. There are people that we discussed things with last year, and we are following up with them this year to see how they're doing now. So we'll be following up on you. But before
No.
we go to our break, I'd like to ask you ladies to please, one by one, just show us your packs. You know,
Okay.
Please wait first. Okay.
on Nankwat, you can go first. I see
Okay.
Sandra every day.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the Greek yogurt that she makes. Packaging, nice blue and white. Is that blue or green?
It's blue.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
nice blue and white packaging. Yeah, nice and fresh.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you, Nankwat. Sandra, let me see. Yeah, I knew she was going to show us backwards.
Oh my
Sandra,
goodness.
we can see you. We can see you on Instagram because you're covering it with your phone.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So that's the
That's it.
banga juice.
Yeah.
That's the banga juice. Could you bring it on Facebook? Can you bring it a little bit more into focus?
Okay.
Okay. That's a no. Aha, fantastic. That's the banga juice. And where can one get this thing? Okay. Um. Um. We have a question here. Here for you, Namquat. I think we might as well ask the same thing
Mhm.
of Sandra. Where are you
Okay.
marketing? So we have people joining us from England, people joining us from Calabar, people joining us from
Wow.
Uyo. So, and they want to know, is one Nigeria
Hmm.
taking your
Uh,
products?
when I started, I was still at home, working from home, but I now have a store that I keep. So it's in just. Well, we've been able to like send to some people in another state. I've sent to Abuja. I've sent to Gombe. You know, just we just need to know how long it's going to take for it to be on the road, and then we can send it to you. But there are some
Okay,
places
that
that we
raises
might
an
not be able
issue
to.
of refrigeration to keep it,
Yes, yes, it needs to be
yeah,
cool to some extent. And if whether if you're traveling, the car can be a bit warm and hot, so that can affect how it's going to the end reach to you. So we wouldn't want it to spend the whole day, in a warm environment and all that.
okay,
Mm.
okay. Um, but I still want to press in on that question with you
Okay.
and ask you, um, what is your vision? What is your vision? How do you want to take this? Really, we don't want to push where you are, we beyond where you are willing to go. But what is your vision? Do you want to supply Nigeria, or do you want to just saturate the northern states so we know that we won't get case bites yogurts, and we know that that's a loss to us.
I really want to explore the option to make it bigger. I don't know how well, but I know that I have a passion to make it bigger from where I am right now. So I won't limit myself to just my state or just this country. In any way that I can be able to get it across to, you know, everywhere it can go to. I will really want it to go as far as it can go. It's a gradual process. Anything with food, you don't rush it because you don't want the end product getting to anybody and not it's not enjoyed the way it's supposed to. So
True,
that,
true.
yeah.
Especially with Greek yogurt, I know that even in my fridge, you have to like be sure you eat it within a time. You know.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we have a question from Abasi. I told you that this is foodies.com for sure, and she's the one who actually turned me on to Greek yogurt. I never liked Greek yogurt, but she convinced me to cut fruits. I eat the unsweetened variety, and she convinced me
Okay.
to put natural fruits and things into it, and that's what,
Inside,
what I
it's
do.
really nice.
You know.
Yes.
Yes, yes. So she's saying, well done, ladies. Have you considered stocking your products in supermarkets so we can just take it off the shelves? Before you answer that, please tell us, Sandra, because this question is for both of you. Tell us where you can get banga juice.
Currently, we have it in Port Harcourt
and Lagos, Aja, and the mainland. Just those two places for now. Other states will I ship from Port Harcourt to other places.
Nankwat, we have someone, I guess, on Instagram who is upset that he can't see you.
I don't know what's
Viv-
happening
Viv-
with my network
Vivikas.
today.
We can't see
It keeps coming.
ourselves.
Okay. I don't- and the same network I'm using for the laptop, so I don't know why the phone keeps going on and off like that.
Okay, let me try. I think you sent another
Requesting
request.
it. Yeah.
Let's hope that this will stay. Hi, Sotirise. Hi, Instagram family. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Okay, well, she's here. She's here. Okay, we're just like halfway through, and we have a few housekeeping announcements to make. So I shall ask UC, who's really great at making these announcements. I mean, she scolds me all the time when I make these announcements so poorly. So UC, please come and make these announcements, and I shall be back. Yeah, come. Yeah.
Okay, hi
Hello,
everyone.
you see?
Good morning. Nice to see you. Okay, so this is a quick service announcement. Follow us on IG, like our page on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel,
Ring
all
the
at
bell.
Julia Jack's Consulting, everything, and yeah, that's please follow us, like us, and subscribe. We have so many things planned, and we will have a surprise for you today. So stay tuned. Yeah.
Okay, so she doesn't really like the way I say it. So I hope you heard her. Like us on IG, YouTube, Facebook, Julia Jacks Consulting, and on YouTube, just ring the bell. Ring the bell. You know. Okay. Okay, we have okay. So we have a comment from Victor Pandir. Is Victor your brother or your spouse? Your husband. Okay, you need to. Well, he's here. We love it when husbands come in and support us. We love it. But you just left us on IG as well. But you have to put on your speaker, please. Good morning, Soti. Welcome. Good morning. Okay, so it says right now available in Just. Thank you very much. And Emma says this. Um, this is for Banga juice. It said, consider Cross River and Akwa Ibom for your Banga juice because a lot of us love to eat but hate the work to produce our own delicacies such as abak. And in the eastern parts, southeastern parts, they have ofe aku. I don't know what ofe aku is, but I'm sure she knows what she's talking. That's the
Yeah.
original foodie. That's the original foodie talking right there. Yes, yes. Okay. So we're going to go into the second segment. We're going to dig in a little deeper. And the questions I'd like to ask you would be the questions for both of you. Number one, where are you taking this business? Have you thought about it? You guys happen to start these businesses, let me say by chance, which is what many of us do. Many of us just start by chance, or we say, let's just try and see, you know. But having tried this and it's successful, what is your goal? I mean, how many, I'd ask questions like, how many packs are you selling daily and how many or monthly? Do you know? Do you track it? because this is the food business. So I'm asking about the business part of it. Then we get to the brand part of it. Do you track how many you sell and what profits you make?
For me, I've really been on and off to some extent. At one point, it's based on request and order that I make the Greek yogurt, especially since I was not having a stable place where I could actually say you can come and pick it up from. But it's something that I know I want it to be a full business for me, you know, not just for the baking itself, but having yogurt also as a full business. Yogurt making also as a full business. So it's going to be bigger than what it is right now. I know that. I'm still working on that. And like I said, having food production as a business is not something you take lightly. I have to get all those registrations from NAFDAC, so because you won't want to have your product in the store and then they will have to come and seize it out because it doesn't have that registrations number. So it's one of the criteria and what we're working on right now. So before we can expand it to be a bigger business where I can have many stores across the state, like having or selling it on their shelves. So
Okay. But is that something that you are? I'm sorry, I'm pressing. I'm just such a pushy
no problem.
person
It's
sometimes,
okay.
you know. But is it something that you have as a plan for NAFDAC? I know NAFDAC comes with its own requirements, specific
Yeah,
requirements. Uh,
yeah.
sorry, may I just ask, is there anyone who has anybody else in the room? Because I can hear sound.
Yeah, some yes. Let me just yes.
If they could just keep it down. And then Nimdev, who just joined us, says there's an echo. Can anybody else hear the echo? We're trying to keep this as clean as possible.
I
We
want
hear there's an echo. Okay, so Nankwat has told us her plans. Thank you, Ima. Thank you. The echo may be on IG. What are your plans, Sandra? How big do you want to? Do you track what you sell? I know you're always on social media, carrying your banga on your head, literally. You know. So, do you track what you sell? The business side of it.
I can't really hear you very well. It's echoing.
It's echoing.
Yeah.
Oh
So
wow.
you're not clear.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, I can.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, I can hear you now.
Okay.
I can
So the
hear you.
question
Yeah.
was, oh, you can hear me too. Great. Question was, are you tracking what you sell monthly?
Yes, yes. So,
And
okay,
no, go ahead.
all right. The goal is to be everywhere in Nigeria and also export. Currently, though we're not stable too. We do sometimes we sell 10 in a week, sometimes 20, sometimes 25. But because sometimes we get caterers who just buy a lot for an event, and also some restaurants and all. So we do sometimes 10, sometimes 15, sometimes 25, highest 25 in a week. So
Kabin na
that's where
kapin.
we are.
Okay.
Sana
But
okay.
that's not going to build you your empire, is it?
Yes. So that's what we are working towards. First, uh, part of being as part of our plans to be everywhere in Nigeria, in every shop, in every store, supermarket in Nigeria, so it's easy for our products to be easy to get it on the shelf. We're also working on increasing the shelf life of our product, so it's not just kept inside the freezer. So we are doing that, and also trying to also get our NAFDAC registration. Though we have started the process, we are on the process of getting that.
Are you likely to get that this year?
Hopefully, yes. Hopefully, yes. Before
Okay,
the end of the year, yeah.
okay, okay. Because I think you need to start talking to people, supermarkets, especially in the like Ima Basi pointed out, um, especially in Akwa Ibom and Cross River states, where we really use, and maybe in the eastern states. I don't know how many people you said when you talked about working directly with farmers to get cheaper food and distribute to people who are busy. Who I don't know who wants to sit down and pound that thing. I used to do it when I was a child, but I mean, I'm not going to sit down and pound that thing. You know, so it's something I think you should introduce to maybe. I know there's some of us in Lagos, but there are a lot more. I think you can do more than 25 if we extrapolate this 25 by 12, and
We
that
are
is the
echoing
outer
again.
limit.
I can't hear. I
Mhm.
can't hear. I think Mampa
Mhm.
Nankwat. The echo is coming from you, I guess. Instagram.
I'm the so the volume is down. Oh.
Okay, let me just say something and let's see. Can do I echo?
Yeah.
I'm
How
echoing.
about then they have not done to the voice note.
I'm trying. I'm gonna get some help.
Okay.
Okay, I think it's better now. You didn't echo now. It's better.
It's okay now.
Yes, yes. No more
It's
echo.
okay now.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Yes, it's okay.
Now, one thing that is very that we do. I can even hear myself.
Then what is the problem?
I don't know.
No, from my end, you're no longer echoing.
One thing that we try to do on unplugged is to probably is to galvanize people so they can have ideas about what to do better. And one thing that is very, very important for all of us is to see if there are people who like processed banga juice. We have Ima Basi here who's saying, I tell you, if I tell you she's a foodie, she's a foodie. I can link you up. If Ima is interested, she's interested. Geraldine already wants to get, she's having a side conversation here with Victor, your husband. It can be way bills to Cross River, and that's fantastic. We like to create linkages. So the NAFDAC registration, ways in which we can refrigerate. We can find out from people. We've had a guest here who is in Abuja who makes chocolates, and she's been able to find a way to refrigerate and send the chocolates around Nigeria. So if you really want to find out more, we can find out from her and link you up because collaboration is the name of our game over here, you know. Okay. There's a conversation here from a chat from Nimde, and Nimde says there are lots of people in Jos who'd buy processed banga if you find it. So she'd like to speak with you afterwards. So yes, Nimde, I can give her your number, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, fantastic. Just as there's a lot of people in the south who'd like to have Greek yogurt, you know. And let me tell you why. There's a perception thing around the brand. We believe that you guys have the dairy fresh and direct over there, you know. So we feel that what you have there is, I may be wrong, and please nobody come for me. I don't know, you know, wrong. What we feel that what you have there is the freshest possible option for um, yogurts. And so we would like to have that as well, you know, and that would help in expanding your markets. Because sometimes, you know, when you're in the market and people know you already, they're like, okay, Ima says I'm right. Thank you. You know, people already know you. They might take you for granted. But you see, first of all, you're coming with a name like Nankwat. Nankwat, first of all, you just say, from Jos. So never mind that Plateau State is more than Jos. You just say that one is authentic. Please, all those who do Greek yogurt here, please forget my face after this. don't come, don't come for me. Don't come for me. So we're saying make more friends, make collaborations. If you want to find out from us the people I've mentioned after this, I'll be very glad to give you the hookups. I'll really be
Okay.
glad because that's one thing that we are doing a lot of, you know. And Nimja definitely would want to talk to you. Um, so Sandra, it's okay. She carries her market on her head. I've never seen someone like that. So you know. So we have about 15 minutes more to talk about it. Let me see, Cassandra. This is the same thing that we had. Geraldine said you need to expand your domestic market. I agree. Before you go to the international market,
Yeah.
before you go to the international, you need to expand your. You need to saturate. You haven't saturated. 25. I was trying to do the math, but it's not working. Let me see. I'm going to do it now. 5 times 2 is what? 10. That's in a year. 250K. Don't send your son to school. Sorry, darling.
That's true.
That's the truth. That's the truth. This
Yeah.
this is a hobby. This is a hobby now. This is a hobby. So the challenge we have to you today is how are you going to scale it up from a hobby?
I one of the things that's been, I think, oh, I don't know if it's an excuse, but that's been holding me back is the NAFDAC registration, and that's why it's top priority for me to get it done first. Because for now, that's all I see: getting it first and then be able to market it. Because I've gone to some small supermarkets and all, but they will not stock your product if it doesn't have NAFDAC registration. So
Hmm.
that's one of, for me right now, is one of my stumbling block that I really want to cross by the grace of God by before the end of the year. I've also had people approach me from these states, especially from Akwa Ibom. There's somebody there who's ready to market it, but I've just been cool, and I told him I wanted to get the NAFDAC registration first because he said he wanted to approach some supermarkets there in Akwa Ibom. So I'm just waiting. I've been low on just trying to sell it for now, and while I'm working in the background to get that registration sorted out.
Okay. Okay. So Nankwat, is there any inspiration you can get from there? Because it's clear to us that we all need each other and this way. And I passed through this about I think 3 or 4 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. I went through Cameroon by road. You
Okay.
know, we were on our way to Banenda, and on our way there, we saw people, different segments. Some people would do tomatoes only, some people would do peppers only, some people would do different things. And I feel that if the north of Nigeria can give us, last week, Nimder told us about the red, what's it called? The red, what was it? Not cocoyam. The red
The
sweet
potato.
potatoes.
The
Yes, red
healthiest
sweet
people.
potatoes. Fonio. She told us about strawberries, you know, so we don't have to import these things if we can face and get those things, right? You've
Mm,
told us also about dates today and those kind of things that we can probably get, um, we can probably get more from locally instead of using white sugar, which is honestly not the best. Not to
mm,
demarket anybody, but it's honestly not the best.
yeah.
So these are options that we can look at and make sure that we can grow our market. What we
Mm,
want to do in Unplugged is to help people who are doing it from home do it from a bigger store and then to a bigger store, and then hey, uh, they're all over. They've grown, and
mm.
that's our success, you know. And if you remember us as part of the success story, yes, okay, that'll be fine. Okay, we're going to show off a little bit. This is from Nimda. She says it's become a great platform for market linkages. Yes, thank you, Nimda. We really want to do collaboration as much as we can. And Jerry, somebody who came to talk about facilitating. I think that was 2 years ago when we did the business toolkit. I think we
Mhm.
mentioned it, but it would be something that will be. We're doing the business toolkit next year. We're not going to do it this year. So it's
Okay.
something that is worthy of bringing in someone from NAFDAC. We talked about CAC and we talked about NAFDAC. Those are some of the issues that have to. So
Mm,
this is helping us collate some of the stumbling blocks. Marketing is important. Structuring your business is important. Moving from just one person to about 10 people so that you can expand, you know, so you can scale up. And another thing that is really important is branding your business. So we're going to spend the next 5 minutes talking about how do you plan to brand your business. So when people see on the shelf or people hear about it, they're like, I want that Nankwat's own. Why Nankwat's own? Why Nankwat's case bites? Why? Why should they buy
okay.
yours?
We'll be working on the standard of what we'll be giving. That uh, whenever you try our yogurt, you will want to come back for more. In the sense that the taste and quality will be something you want more of it. So working on that one and keeping the standards on quality consistently, like it shouldn't drop. That's one thing we want to work on too, so that as far as you've tasted it before, you won't want to try another one. So, and then the marketing side of it too, we'll have to scale up on that, on how we market it bigger and better, so that at every corner you can be able to ask and get, or any store that you can enter, you can be able to get our yogurt, and purchase it. It doesn't have to be directly from us. So we're supplying other people too. You can be able to get it anywhere, not just from us.
Okay, I remember that we have someone, she does chin chin. You can check out. I think it's on IG. Is that chin chin seller? That chin chin seller, yeah. And I probably hook up with her and see how we can get someone from NAPDAC because she was very aggressive and she remains aggressive about um, about pushing her chin chin and making sure that she got her. She started like all of you. from the back of her car, etc., etc. From and then she scaled up pretty quickly. You know, Sandra, how would you like to scale up? What are your plans for making sure that when we see Keza foods, because there are other, sorry, Banga juice, there are other Banga juice options. I've seen them, you know. I only buy yours because I know you. How are you going
Uh,
to people who don't know,
how I didn't get that. Sorry. How am I going to what?
make the people who don't know you buy yours?
Oh, I think more adverts. For me, I feel the more you're in people's faces, people tend to buy the product who they see more often. They can relate to it. So also partner with some chefs and some cooks also to use the products because first our products are 100% natural and I think others too. And just like you've also advised, I would need to change the packaging, the branding to be more to put our name out there, and also yes, I think more advertising.
Okay. Advertising work, but you have to have a what they call a unique selling proposition. You
Sorry.
know, you have to have a unique selling proposition. I'm going to write it in the comments.
Okay, okay, unique selling proposition. Yes, it's 100%. It's 100% natural.
Yeah, but is that unique to you?
Is that what?
Is that
Yeah.
unique to you?
Yes, it's unique. Some people and it's thick. It's 100% natural. It's thick. So some people add other things to make it thick.
Okay. But you can't demarket others
It's true.
to market yours.
That's true.
Yeah. So you have to actually get what your USP is and know that USP, when it comes to food, it might be in the presentation, it might be teaching people how to use it, it might be in telling people how to prepare it. I also have a suggestion here, a great suggestion from Jerry, which says you could diversify your packaging to include sachets because not everybody will have a big freezer to store big
Mm.
containers, also small, medium
Yeah.
containers. I think that's a good one. Having different unit sizes is a good idea, you know. And what I didn't tell you guys about Nankwat is that she also makes parfait and she puts fruits and granola, which she makes herself um, in the parfait. So before we go, could Nankwat tell us about the parfait, especially the granola which you make yourself, because that's another product.
Yes. The granola is just a mixture of oats with different. I put in dry fruits. Dates is also inside. There are groundnuts. You can put in walnuts, any other nuts that you can have in. And nuts are also good for us. It's like a low caloric snack you can have at any time. So it's a combination of all these oats and nuts. Then I use honey instead of sugar, which makes it's like the combining factor that and sweetens it a bit. So it's something you can just have on the go. You can just snack on it, or you can have it in your pap or your yogurt. Like that's one of the reasons why I started making it. So in the parfait cup, we always like have the yogurt with different fruits, apples, pineapple, grapes, and any other option that you can have available, strawberries and all that. And then with the granola and your Greek yogurt, you're good to go. You can have it like as breakfast, lunch, dinner at any time. It's really yummy and satisfying. It can really keep you full for a
I
very long. Like,
Yeah, I testify to that. I have my
yeah.
granola
Mm.
with
So,
quick with oatmeal. Yeah, and it does keep me for a while.
mm.
Jerry wants to know if it is a granola bar. Do you serve it in a bar or in a
It's the way I make it. Since I'm not using sugar, it doesn't come off as a bar. It's more like a grainy and in powdered form to some extent. Because the ones you see as a in a like coming up as a bar, mostly they use sugar. So you know how like having candy snack, the sugar is like a combined, so it makes it come out like a
combined?
bar. But this one, since it's not sugar I'm using, it doesn't come off as a bar. It's just like grainy and okay like that. But we bake it so you can have it even if it's just the granola itself. Mm.
Okay, so ladies, we have actually reached the top of the hour and we've passed it a little bit. And I want to thank both of you for being fantastic guests. And I want to challenge on behalf of not just myself, but the world that is waiting for you, not just in Nigeria, the continent, and outside here. I'm going to push you guys and get a date for you that this time next year we're going to talk about how far you've come, and I would probably have tasted your products from Plateau, and that
Mm.
Plateau would have tasted Keza Foods products.
Yeah.
Mm.
Is that a deal?
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
Okay, so July next year, we are coming back and we are having this conversation again to see
Yeah.
how
No
far
problem.
we've
I
come.
will, we should we'll be giving you a different
Thank
feedback from
you.
that time.
Fantastic.
Thank
So,
Yeah.
you. Thank
question: can you tell us, each of you, two things to encourage people who are at your level starting off and trying to scale or trying to find your feet? So, two tips from Nankwat and two tips from Sandra.
Well, I think first of all, you have to know why you're doing what you're doing. To some extent, the market is very large. There are a lot of people that still do whatever it is you're doing. But if you know what is driving you towards towards what you're making, it helps you to stay focused, and it helps you to stay still like continue whatever it is, because there are a lot of discouragements out there. A lot of things can come up and or competition, so you might feel discouraged. But if you keep your head high on what you want to achieve, it will drive you towards achieving it, whatever it is. And then consistency is key. I know that's one of my problem. I've been on and off like that. So I'm really, really trying to build on that right now. But I know that I have not stopped. That's one thing that I like about the whole thing. Even if I go down, I still come up, and I know that I'm definitely going to go get to where I am. So consistency and marketing. You have to market your product like that. Your life depends on it. So I've ended up giving three tips right now. So,
Okay, so only one from Sandra then.
let me just keep quiet.
Sandra,
Okay. Like Nankwat said, consistency and for me, learn a lot, and
Yeah.
always look for ways to improve yourself. Whatever you're doing, always improve. And for you to be able to stay consistent, have a strong why, because that why is going to make you stay consistent.
Mm.
thank you. I like that why, but now you said a strong why. Yeah, that's what keeps us wakes us up in the morning and pushes us.
Yeah.
Thank you everybody who joined us on Instagram and on Facebook. We have a an announcement. It was my birthday this week. I want to thank everybody, every single person on Instagram and Facebook who sends me a message, and some people sends me gifts. And we are still open the whole of July, which ends next week for gifts. So please feel free. But I am really very grateful, and I will come and let you know how grateful I am. But one way in which we can show is that we have start and improve your business program coming up on the 31st of August. It's part of the Brands at Brunch uh, offering from Julia Jacks Consulting. And we would like only on Instagram, on our Instagram page, somebody to tell you, not Sandra, not you. It's a physical class, so you have to be able to get to Port Harcourt. So tell us why we should give you that one free slot. It's worth about 40,000, 38,750. But because it's my birthday, we're going to give one free slot. We'll put up the poster today, and we will hand it over to the judges. We won't decide ourselves. We're going to hand it over to the judges, and they'll tell us who to pick. So don't tell me just because I'm a good girl or I'm a good guy. Just give us the reasons why you will be able to benefit from this. So thank you very much. Sandra has buzzed off Facebook. Thank you very much, Instagram. Thank you very much, Nankwat. It's wonderful
Thank you for having
meeting
me.
you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We are going to keep it a date and we're going to keep talking. Yes,
Yes,
we will
ma'am.
keep talking.
Yes, ma'am.
Sandra, thank you very much. Even though you have disappeared briefly, but you're still on Instagram. Thank you very much. See you next week when we interview Stephen Emeka Obi. He's coming with another a different aspect of the agricultural value chain. So bye. See you.
Bye.
Bye bye.